Right, I need to review what I'm going to do. That's poetic. Yeah, that's right. I have still got to finish gluing it. This is not glued. It came apart. But I have bought myself a preamp. There was a preamp in it, but I stole it for something else. So that preamp will go on that properly. I probably have to revalue the whole. But I think the first thing I got to do is get the guitar solidly put back together so I can work on it. And I think that's going to require some gluing here. I may have to break something to get it back in the normal. Boy, that looks bad. So I'm going to get stuck in and do that, and I think I'll just come down, tilt myself here. Right, okay. You'll see I've returned the lights back to full power because I tried all sorts of ways to get my camera to work properly, but it wouldn't do it under any conditions. So what do I do first? Let me look to see. This has got to be glued back again and held in place. So that would be the first step to do, right? That one. So it's going to be super glue galore just to get the framework right. So I think I'm going to pause, and when I find cures for some of these things, I'm going to do them and come back to you and do them. That's as far as I can twist my camera. Now what I've decided to do is I'm going to put a strip of fiberglass across there, and the smell of the super glue is getting pretty strong in here. So I think this is the last super gluing I'll do tonight. And once I put this piece of fiberglass on it, then I can cover the fiberglass in epoxy resin to give it strength, and then I can build that up. Here I'm going to put a piece of there, and we're starting to hide the holes, and then I can, oh god, the stink of the epoxy resin, sorry, the stink of the super glue is quite strong. So once I got the stability of it, once I've got that going, then I can start to sand the weaker spots, get everything sort of levelish as I can. And that's it, because I need to get out of here. Right, I can breathe again. So I'm going to give this a quick clean, and then I'm going to think about here. Let's just put some lemon oil on the wood we're going to protect. Even the neck that's not fixed yet, I'm going to put it on it just to get it started. Yeah, and that's gone hard again as already. As you see, it's gone hard. I'm not going to put any more super glue in that tonight because the place is stinky. But I've ordered carbon fiber, so I'm going to put carbon fiber on it. That's going to be fun to do, getting it around the edges, and then I'll fill in those white spots with pearlescent there. Oh, we'll see. We'll get there. Yes, we're outside at the moment. Hello, world. And I'm sanding this on my decking. I've learnt a few things from it. That you can sand the tape and it works fine. Also, when I'm sanding, if I put the powder falls between the cracks, and then I put super glue in, then I sand it again. So I'll show you that again in a second or two. Okay, that's it, all sanded, and it's just been wiped with a damp cloth. And now I'm going to use some epoxy resin on it. So I'm just going to wipe it on with a cloth. I can't do it with one hand, I don't think, but I'll show you. I've mixed up the epoxy resin, I put it in a tray, and I'm just going to do this, and then I'm going to hang up on you. It's just going to be wiped on like that. Right, so I'm going to hang up on you now so I can do it. Okay, that's it done. As you can see, it's still all streaky, but the reason I'm doing that is to fill in the gaps and to just give it a bit more strength, because I sanded quite a bit of the plastic away to get it level. And now that'll go hardened, and then I'll sand it again. But now I'm going to work on that side because the linen didn't help. I'm going to have to put something below it and then glue it to it. I'm just bringing you an update because a lot of the things that I'm doing this are not videoable because they're ugly. This has been put on, that's epoxy putty in there to fill that hole. Epoxy putty there, and there. It's a bit hard now, and I put epoxy putty in other places. The next thing I need to do is the tailpiece, which is all just, that's actually just cloth in there. So that's cloth, there's some wood somewhere. So what I bought is some carbon fiber cloth. It's not wide enough for the whole guitar, but it might be wide enough to do the bottom, but I'm still not sure about that. It's not wide enough to do the top. I don't think it's even enough to do it either. So I'm still not sure how I'm going to do that, but I have a feeling that by the time I filled in this area, this is fiberglass with some super glue on it. I think I can fill that in with some of this putty, and then that whole back will be able to be sanded down. That all looks pretty messy at the moment, but that's rock solid. The guitar is a lot more strong. Guitar is a lot stronger now, but a sanding machine will bring that all down. It's what to do with it whenever I get to the stage. Now this is another problem here. I want to have a little bit of strength here, so I'm actually thinking of putting something in there and sealing that completely, and then starting again to put in the new. I've got a new one I bought, which will go in maybe somewhere slightly different for strength. So that's the plan, and all I'm going to do now, just in this instance, is just try to get some of this dust off it. But what to do with that? What to do with that? I've got some netting. Do I wrap it? I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. What I have done, I forgot about it. I've ordered a large wooden jigsaw puzzle of a lion that might actually fit there and cover it up. I'll show you a picture of it on the screen. So the wooden jigsaw puzzle, even if it only goes there, it would cover up the rest of it. And one of the things I'm constantly aware of is that I don't want to put too much weight on it. The wooden jigsaw puzzle is not thick wood, so if it fitted there, it would give me something to hide this mess here. But at the moment, I think I'm going to need some car filler to fill up the gaps and places. I'm still thinking about this. Right, a brief update. This is solid enough now to contain it, but not the finished job. I've glued a piece of maple strip on the inside, and then I put this God, I can't remember the bloody name of it. What do you call it? Fiberglass strip over it, and it's glued as well. Now what I got to do to have more strength is that I'm going to drill with a very fine tool there and there and then put a tiny screw in as well, just to seal it up. Now, I've got a big dent in there that I haven't finished yet, and I've been pondering this, and I think this is the cure. You know, hardboard, what I've done is I've cut it roughly to shape, and I'm going to soak it in water, warm water, and then put it on there and cut it a bit better to shape, and it'll sit on that and it'll hold its shape, because this does go back to hardness again once you wet it. And then when it's the right shape, I'll take it off and then I'll glue it on. It'll have big gaps around it, but I'll be able to fix those gaps with, what's that called? Milliput. So then I'll have that shape, and then the edge just has to be shaped off. So that's the plan. I don't have a piece of plastic. Anyway, getting a piece of plastic that shape would be wonderful, but not going to happen. So that's the plan, and I'm going to soak this in warm water now. Now that will sort out the back. That's a bit higher. This is all going to be sanded down again. I love the way that this is really, really high gloss, giving me ideas. But anyway, then I've got to find a cure for the bottom, which is probably going to be the most difficult. All right. That came off the back of a picture that was awarded to me after years of service. I needed the bit of wood, so it was a goodbye picture. There you go. That looks to be working. It's in shape. It's sitting below the plastic level, so I should be able to glue that into a good shape, and then epoxy over it, and the epoxy will soak into it and give it strength. This is going to have to be the most expensive guitar. Right, that's been sealed with epoxy resin now, and that'll be as hard as bricks. Now, I'm told that wood filler will do the rest, bring it up. And that will do for me, because what I intend to do is then cover this, or use some, I bought some faux leather, so I haven't quite decided whether to use the faux leather or the carbon fiber cloth on it, and I might use neither, but we're getting closer to the time. You have to be a little bit mad to work here. That's it, all cleaned up, and I spent 20 quid on a piece of leather, which I cannot figure out how to work. If I put it there, how do I bend it around the edges without getting all creased? Maybe I'll do something on the front with that. I spent another 20 quid on this, and this is what I'm going to use. Carbon fiber, and I'm going to put it on the back, and then when it's dry on the back, I'll float it around the edges, and I don't know how I'm going to do that, but that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to start with this by putting this bit on here. Now I have to do two pieces this way because there isn't enough carbon fiber to put it the long way. So it's going to go like that. What I'm going to do with that, I haven't got a clue. But I need to have enough to go around the back. So I'm going to put that on there like that. Now how am I going to put that on there like that? The only thing I can think of that I don't want to spend any more money on this is put yacht varnish on this first, and then the carbon fiber, and then a coat of yacht varnish over the carbon fiber when it's partially dried. It's the only way to hide all this and give it a bit more strength there. It was pretty strong, but I think that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to come to you in a few seconds. I've never worked with carbon fiber, so I don't know how this is going to react, but I'm going to do it because this has to get done and get off my bench. So yacht varnish on first, a good liberal helping of yacht varnish, and I will put a liberal helping on the other side too. I know this dries very hard, one sees, and because it's yacht varnish, it's meant for yachts. Now, what I want to do is not let it run down the sides, but can I achieve that without having to sand it all off again? I don't think so, but that's what I'm going to do. The sides will get done separately because I don't know how I'm going to go down around the creases and stuff like that there. But it's all a crazy experiment. Now I think I have a little bit of time to put this on, but not much. Yeah, that's about the right size. It's not quite straight yet, so it's never going to be fully straight. One of the things I notice is you have to have it sewn at the edges. See, I'm not going to wrap it around yet. The reason I'm using this is because it's flexible. It goes around the edges, so you get it. So I'm not going to wrap the edges yet because I want to get this on first, and then I'll give me time to work with the edges. But I don't think you're going to have much choice when it comes to the edges. I think it's going to have little creases and everything in it, but I don't know because I've never worked. Well, this is outside my skill range, put it like that. Mind you, there's an awful lot outside my skill range, isn't there? So I'm going to put that over that, and so let's just see. I might, if this looks horrible when I've done it, I might even put a coat of black gloss over this carbon fiber. But I'm sorely tempted. No, I'm not even sorely tempted. I'm going to do it. Put a little coat of yacht varnish on the top, which will help penetrate through the carbon fiber and seal it to the, it's moving. I can't go the other way now. I've got to go one way. Right, okay. Because this is not a waterproof carbon fiber because it's very finely woven. Very roughly woven, should I say, not finely woven. Maybe that's the way I should be doing it. Okay, this is taking so long, I'm going to have another 2 videos on it. So this will be one, and definitely the next one's going to be the final. Definitely. Can't have it. Got to keep working at it. But I got to do guitars in the background too. So maybe a bit too much on there. So I'm hoping that will soak through. It won't matter if it doesn't soak through. It won't matter if it doesn't soak through. Because it's sitting on top of the carbon fiber, it won't do any harm. There's a bit of, what's that? Come away. Come away with me. And there. Ah. So it's hidden and buried in there, so it could stay hidden and buried in there. I'm not going to take it off. And that's all been, so in the next video you'll see where I am with this. Alright, now I got to go and clean all my tools and clean my bench and let that sit for God knows how long.